I know that you know what an iPod is, and I know that you know what an MP3 player is. You know what this is? This is a Japanese transistor radio from the early 1950s. This was the first time that someone could listen to music while they walked around. Prior to this, if they wanted to listen to music, they had to listen to it on a phonograph plugged into a wall or a radio plugged into the wall. What's this? This is a 45 RPM record. One song on either side. Back in the day, I used to dance to the sock hops in the gym with using these songs, these records. What's this? This is a 33 1/3 RPM record. It's also called an LP. Why did they call it an LP? Because it's long playing. Why? 6, 8, 10, 12 songs on either side. And this, an 8-track. And this, a cassette. And this, a CD. So what's the common denominator of all this stuff? Well, they're all music, but they're all different kinds of technologies. In fact, one technology replaced another technology. The other common denominator for me, for all this stuff, is these are all products, these are all things I've used in my lifetime since I was in high school. So I've seen all this stuff come and go. Can you imagine, though? How are you going to listen to music in 5 years? How about 10 years? How about 15 years? The reality is you can't. It probably hasn't been invented yet. And what you see happening is the pace of technology is increasing to such a degree that products such as music are changing constantly. I use this example of music because I think everybody can identify with music. But the reality is that technological change is causing everything, literally, I believe, every product, service, and aspect of life to change. So over the course of your lifetime, you will see everything change. So what's the human side of this change? Very simply this. Every product, every service that you use, everything that you buy, everything that you use, is a job to somebody, whether they made it or they sold it. So every time something changes, a product changes, that means that there's an impact, a real-world impact on people, because their jobs change. And who makes the decision of whether or not a product is going to be around today or tomorrow? That's not government. It's not business. Frankly, it's the 7 billion people in the world who cast their votes on what is going to stay and what is going to go. They cast their votes by how they spend their dollars and their euros and their yuan and their yen. So the people, the marketplace, decides what's going to come and go. And what you see happening is a continually accelerating pace of change. Now, a couple of things have made this happen. Technology, for one, is advancing. You saw from the earlier video how rapidly technology is advancing. But communication technology in particular is advancing. The internet, for example. 10, 15 years ago, there were relatively few people on the internet. Today, there's probably 600 million Chinese who have the ability to learn the same things that we learn in our country because they have access to the internet. So what this is doing, the internet and other forms of technology, and certainly transportation, communication is all accelerating to the point that we now live in a world that you can virtually hold in the palm of your hand. And things are happening very, very rapidly. And so if that is happening, if every product and service is changing, if you can look forward to that, that's why you can expect in the course of your lifetime, if you're a student today, to probably have 15 or more different jobs. You may have 3 or 4 totally different careers. A good chance you'll start your own business. And so you have to prepare for that reality. And how do you prepare for the reality that everything is going to change, is going to affect every job and every aspect of life? First of all, I think there's a couple things you have to keep in mind. One of those things is you have to understand that this change is happening. No government, nobody is going to stop this. It's driven by the 7 billion people in the world. So this change is going to happen, and all the products and things that we use are going to go through life cycles at a very rapid pace. The second thing that you have to do, I believe, is you have to commit yourself to being a lifelong learner. If everything is going to change and every job is going to change, then that means you're continually going to have to learn new things. You may have totally different careers. You have to continue to learn. At the point that you decide to stop learning is the point that you're going to foreclose your future. So you have to do that. The third thing I would ask you to do is to begin to think entrepreneurially about everything that you do. And what I mean by that, and I use that entrepreneurially with a small e, what I mean by that is when you look at a problem, you should be searching for a solution. When you see something, a shortfall in a product or something, you should be looking for ways to improve that product. The fact is the world will belong to those people who are a positive force for change in whatever they do. Whether they're working for a company, they're working for their own company, they're inventing something brand new. We are now living in an innovation world where people all around the world are continually looking for how to improve the products and services that they have. So if every product and service is going to change in the future, who's going to invent those new products? The Chinese? The Indians? The Brazilians? How about we Americans? It's been my great fortune in my lifetime to be able to travel, and I've traveled more than 100 countries. And if there's one thing that I've observed that I believe sets us apart as a people, is that we continually challenge the status quo. We continually look for different ways of doing things, more than I think any other people that I've seen on earth. And therein is the entrepreneurial mindset that we must adopt as people. So as we're looking at the future, we're looking at the challenges of the future, we know everything's going to change. What do you need to do to prepare yourself for that future? First of all, you need to understand that this change is occurring. It's relentless. It's not going to stop. It's going to affect everything. Secondly, you need to commit yourself to being a lifelong learner. The future is going to belong to those who continually keep up, who continually reinvent themselves and prepare themselves for the next job, the next opportunity. Third, you need to prepare yourself to change. You need to change your mindset. You need to change your mindset and think entrepreneurially about things, to be a force for positive change, to improve whatever you're doing, your products, the services of companies that you're working with, or your own company. The future belongs to those who are going to make the positive influence on changing it. So those are the things that you have to do. You have to understand change, be a lifelong learner, and think entrepreneurially about everything that you do.